All right, here we are again for another week of This Week in the 80s. My name's Paul with your 80s update from 40 plus years ago. I'm going to take a look at the movies, the music, the television, what was popular in this week in the 80s. And this week we're going to go back to March of 1984, the second week of March in 1984. Let's waste no time. Let's get right into it. Let's talk about, music. 80s music in 1984, spectacular. It was awesome. This playlist, this list of the chart sounds like a playlist. It sounds like if I was making an 80s playlist, the top 10 songs on the week of 1984, March 1984, would be on that list. Number one, Van Halen's Jump. Turn It Up. This is an 80s channel. Turn Up Van Halen. Cyndi Lauper, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Rockwell, Somebody's Watching Me. When I'm in the shower, I'm afraid to wash my hair. Rockwell's awesome, right? That tune is so much fun. Nena's 99 Luftbaloons, 99 Red Balloons. You know, there are rumors that she didn't even know what the English version was, and who cares? That song is great. Kenny Loggins with Footloose, Michael Jackson's Thriller. Number 7, Huey Lewis, I Want a New Drug. Can you believe that all of this is on one chart at the same time? Number 8, Eurythmics, Here Comes the Rain Again. Number 9, John Lennon's Nobody Told Me. And number 10, New Moon on Monday by Duran. That's the top 10 on the chart at that time. That's 10 great songs all at the same time. Could you imagine just listening to the radio and you're flipping from pop radio to pop radio and all these songs are on all day long? It's another reason why the 80s is so amazing. It's the music that we had was so much better than anything else that was out there. That's been made since. You know, number 15 on the list at the time was The Police's Wrapped Around Your Finger. Karma Chameleon, number 16. Guys, it's all at the same time. The Thompson Twins at number 19 with Hold Me Now. I mean, this is all fantastic stuff, and it was all in the second week of March in 1984. So let's move on from music, and let's take a look at the movies. We're off to the movies. And the movies this week in 1984, there were a few movies that premiered. Let's see, we had something called Mike's Murder with Jeff Bridges and Deborah Winger. I don't think anybody ever saw that. The Hotel New Hampshire, Jodie Foster and Beau Bridges with Rob Lowe as well. And also Wilford Brimley, because it was sort of a rule that Wilford Brimley had to be in almost anything that was made in 1984. A little kid, Seth Green and Matthew Modine were also on the Hotel New Hampshire. The Children of the Corn was the second big one of that week. That premiere was on March 9th, 1984. I didn't see The Children of the Corn. That shit just freaks me out. Like, I'm good, man. No thanks. Peter Horton, Linda Hamilton. You know, I love Stephen King. I'll read the books all day long, but you put it on the big screen and I am out. Disney re-released Pete's Dragon. Remember, back in the day, before we had VCRs, before everyone had VCRs anyway, and video stores were all over the place, Disney used to make a killing by just putting their movies back out into the movie theaters. So they put Pete's Dragon out, and that was a super fun one. The super winner of the week, Ron Howard's Splash. Touchstone Pictures put Tom Hanks, Daryl Hannah, John Candy, and Eugene Levy all on the screen at the same time. And they killed it. The Children of the Corn was number 2 for the take at $14 million. And Splash, the super rom-com, $82 million for Splash. Nice job, Splash. A little bit more than Footloose had made the month before. So there was a lot of good movies going on at the time. And when you weren't at the movies and you weren't listening to Awesome 80s Radio, where were you? Sitting in front of the television, right? Sitting in front of the television. Let's say it's the second week of March in 1984, and you are presently sitting in front of the television, and it's Thursday night. What are you watching? Well, if you're watching ABC and it's 8 o'clock, you're watching Automan. What a terrible show, but it was on, and that's what you were watching. NBC was killing it with Gimme a Break, and that followed either Mama's Family or Family Ties. 2 great shows. They all sat down and bowed to CBS at the time because the 8 o'clock slot had Magnum. Magnum killed it, Magnum's top 10 show, and there was nothing that anybody could do about it. Certainly not ABC with Automan. What are y'all doing? At 9, when 9 o'clock rolled around, ABC had Masquerade. They also had a show that they replaced that with called Lottery. You got me. I wasn't digging any one of those two. On NBC, they had a show called We Got It Made. And then they had this other one on called Cheers. Yeah, they had Cheers on, and that was sort of popular for a little while, I suppose. They also tried out at the 9:30 slot Buffalo Bill and something called the Duck Factory. Finally, they settled on Night Court. But they were also all bowing down to CBS with Simon and Simon. So CBS was killing it on Thursdays, Magnum, and then Simon and Simon at the 10 o'clock slot, 2020. Remember, there was no permanent news channels back then, so sometimes they'd throw news up there as a TV show. 2020 was that. NBC had Hill Street Blues, awesome show. Gotta love Daniel J. Travante and Bunce, Mr. Bunce, until he got the spinoff there. And then last, CBS, following it all up, slaughtering it with Knots Landing, the Super Thursday drama. I was just a little kid. I was like 11, so obviously I wasn't watching any of that. And by the way, I was probably in bed. But that was everything that needed to be done in that time in the 80s. In the news, there wasn't really all that much going on. It kind of sounds like the news of today. The CBS Evening News from March 12th of 1984. It had Peter Jennings was on. Remember him, Peter Jennings? He's a Canadian doing the American news. For some reason, that always made me laugh. But they started out with voting, and then it went to Lebanon talks and fighting. Tell me this doesn't sound like today, right? Iran-Iraq war, US-USSR relations, still having problems with the Russians. Then it followed up with money matters, credit card abuse, and the stock market. Guys, this is like today. And they run commercials for Kellogg's, Corn Flakes, and American Express, and then Texas, and the death penalty, and then drug smuggling, and then civil rights, and then they sign off. Like, that's just like today, dude. The news never changes. It just doesn't. It's always the same. Anyway, that's going to do it for me here on This Week in the 80s channel. I will be back next week with another breakdown of what's going on this week in the 80s. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe down below. There's a little button that you can click to do that. And also there's a link there where you can buy me a coffee, because I'm going to do a lot of hard work for you to make you happy. Buy me a coffee, would you? Anyway, y'all, I'll catch you soon. Take care.